Hey, how's it going everyone? It's Gavin from Balls to You, and I want to talk a little bit about this video, but before we get into it, I want to just discuss the whole topic of breeding and where I got my information from and how I sort of come to the conclusion of how I was going to breed for me here in the UK or for me in my HQ. One thing you'll learn is that there is more than one way to breed a ball python. What I say to people, there is a guideline and then you have sort of like little variances on that guideline depending on where you are in the world or even where you are in the country or even how your setup is. So everyone's room or everyone's facility is completely different. So the websites I got most information from and real in-depth information was over at Mark Mendek's website, which is Marcus Jane. I'll put a link in the description box below. For me, his breeding process was so in depth regarding the detail. For me, just helped me so much. And this is, over the years, I was able to take his information and other people's information and put it into practice to make what became my breeding recipe, if that makes sense. To this date, I feel Mark has the most in-depth knowledge and data collection system that just proves his theories out time and time again. You know, I learned from Mark about collecting data and was able to sort of come up with my own breeding recipe, if that sort of makes sense. So Mark, for me, was the first person to talk about breeding cycles and talking about those 3 winter cycles. So again, link in the description box below. Get over there, have a read. It's really in depth. For me, I praise Mark all the time for his website and for him collecting that data, which has really helped a lot of people out there. Let's look at sexing ball pythons. Now, I know the title of the video was to do with probing and popping, but first of all, we need to understand what we're actually doing. So always try and find someone that can show you how to probe. I'm going to try and demonstrate it as best as I can on video, but there's also other factors to go into. So I'll show you guys about that. Also, with popping techniques, a lot of people think that it's very invasive and it's hurting the snake and this, that and the other, and they don't want to try too much because they don't want to hurt the snake. My advice to you would be, don't aim to get it right first time, but just practice. Whether that be just practice holding the snake, practicing getting the hemipines or your fingers correct so the hemipines will pop out. Practice on various size animals. Practice on males, practice on females. I can tell you I don't have to invert hemipines to tell you whether or not it's a male or a female. And I'll show you why in this video. Okay, let's have a look at probing. What we actually need for probing our animals. I was shown to probe and I will show you how to probe in this video. But I can't stress enough, probing is something that if you're comfortable at doing, it will work very well. There's a lot of people out there who can probe very successfully. However, there's a lot of people out there who do worry about it. So if you're unsure, please find someone that will help you before you attempt to do this. And sort of any questions, obviously, you know, you can ask that person there and then. But I'm going to try and cover it. So the first things first, you obviously need a sex probe kit, which I'll show you what's in there, and a good old Vaseline. As you can see, I've had that quite a few years. I just want to point out that do not use anything else other than Vaseline. There has been some talks that other type of lubrication will stop the male from producing sperm plugs or viable sperm. I can't tell you if that's true or not because I've always used Vaseline and I've never had any issues. However, just bear in mind, like I said, Vaseline works a treat. So let's have a look at the kit. So obviously, regarding the kit, you should get, if you get a good quality one, you should get some information, okay, on what's involved in probing and the principle behind it and the method. Now, again, we have different sized probes in this kit, okay, that will help us sort of determine what probe to use on our animals regarding males and females, etc., and the size. This is, for me, like I said, you know, a great kit because you've got all the information there to hand. Okay, it sort of helps you there, and it sort of shows you a great picture in there regarding how far or what you should be expected to feel regarding a male and a female. So a female tends to be a lot shorter and a male tends to be a lot deeper, but again, I'll go into that and I'll show you. So what do we have in the kit? Well, in the kit we have something very, well, as you can see, like this, and we have various different sizes. Now I'm going to show you what probes I would use depending on the size of the animal, but I'm going to show you, for example, this biggest one, because you can see it pretty easy. You know, you've got a nice nodule at the end, so it's not going to hurt the animal as you're inserting it. And again, you know, stuff like that is just quality. Every time I use this kit, I always sterilize it before I put it back. Practice, you know, practice safe hygiene, guys. That's all I'm going to say. And we've got a few various other sides. Again, they're also sort of beveled off at the edges, so you're not going to hurt the animal. And then for me, you know, the pro kits with the bulbous end are the ones to go for. So we have a couple of different sizes. I'll be brutally honest, the ones I tend to use on a breeder would be sort of this size, whether it be male or female, will be that sort of size. Okay, if I'm having trouble sexing the animal, okay, I would tend to be, that'd be the biggest size I would use. Let's get a snake. So all you're going to do, you're going to take your probe. All I do is just push it into the Vaseline like so. So you have got a little bit of Vaseline on there. Okay, it's bagged up and chilled out. Right, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys he's a male just by popping him. As you can see, beautiful sperm and hemipenes, and you will get a little bit of wee, nothing to worry about. Just clean that off. Let me show you. Hopefully it's finished going to the bathroom, and all we're going to do, just apply a bit of pressure down here and roll forward, and as you can see, beautiful purple hemipenes. Okay, show you again, press, show you again, press. Not too hard, just applying pressure down there. There's a little air pocket, press, and it'll just pop out. Okay, very simple, very easy. Now if you do see it go a little bit red, don't panic. It's just because obviously with applying pressure there, you're just pushing the blood to the surface. Okay, and you will also see these little things pop out before the hemipenes, as you can see. It's having a little wee. It's not hurting him. As you see, those little things pop out there, scent glands, which a lot of people think they're hemipenes, but they're not. They're actually scent glands. And then you will pop out the hemipenes underneath them. Hopefully you guys can see that. Right, so we know this is a male. Okay, so let's get into probing. All you're going to do is, again, it may take two people. You're just going to go in, come back on yourself, okay, and go down. Okay, very simple, very easy. Okay, now as you can see, that's gone straight down and it's sort of stopped. All I do, I'm not pressing very much, I'm just letting it go in as far as it wants to go. Then I just put my finger at the end, pull it out, and I can clearly see that is a male. Nothing hurting it whatsoever. Job done, perfect. A female tends to be about half that, so that's the sort of thing you're looking for. Right, let's put this guy back. I think he's been examined enough, poor chap. Here we have a banana double het pied hypo female. So what are we looking for on her? So again, we're looking for a similar sort of thing. We're going to be looking at how far we can obviously get the probe in, but I'll show you visually, hands-on, popping wise, what I look for regarding the difference between a male and a female. Okay, so what we're going to do, again, apply the pressure just to show you guys it's not a male. Just relax her. On, sweetheart. Very simple. As you can see, I'm literally pushing, applying pressure there and nothing. In there, sweetheart. Good girl. Applying pressure. Come on, darling. So just applying some gentle pressure and nothing is actually coming out at all. I mean, she's quite strong as well. So again, nothing I can do will invert any hemipenes at all. Even if we try the normal method of pulling back and rolling, nothing. And what you're looking for, you see how it's pure white, there's no redness really. That's a sure sign of a female. So let's get our probe kit. Again, I'll probably go for the same size as I did with a male. You don't want to go too big or too small because it will give you false readings. And again, make sure guys you're shown this method by someone who's well educated in this method as well. Same procedure. Again, it's very difficult to sort of do it on your own. So all you're going to do, lift up the scale like so. All I do is turn it round like so. So there, that's it stopping. Okay, that's where it stops. I'm not going to push too hard, but you just feel it stop. And again, I'll show you the difference. Okay, it's only that. So again, if I try and invert anything, it's just pure white, nothing whatsoever. So that's how, and again, normally when you press here, if it was a male, if you'd press there, you get some sperm plugs come out. Nothing whatsoever from a female. And that's another good way of obviously helping you trying to identify a male from a female, because when you're putting males and females together, you need to make sure obviously you got the right sexes. And let's face it, wrong identifying sexes is common, and a lot of the times it isn't done on purpose. So in other words, if someone was to sell an animal and they believe it to be a male, they've sold it to you as a male, you know, it may end up being a female. Don't let it stress you out. Speak to the breeder. And this is why, again guys, I try and get you all to go to the right people, because if anything does go wrong, they will obviously help you out as best as possible. I hope that little demonstration kind of gives you an idea of what to do and what to look out for. What I want you to do in this whole breeding system and this whole breeding sense is research as much as possible. Like I said, there are a few breeders out there that I look to for true data and true information that they have collected over a number of years. Mark is coming up to his 20th year breeding ball pythons. And there are people out there who have been doing it for a lot longer. Mark, for me, has always collected the data and always analysed it and tried to make some sort of sense and know his animal. Everything that I put out on YouTube is everything that I've learned from my years of experience of breeding ball python. And every year I'm still learning. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's sort of give you a bit of food for thought. So I hope you're all excited about this coming breeding season, because I know I am. I'm absolutely ecstatic. I've got loads of locks cracking off. Everything's on par. Everything is humming. And I'm really buzzing, and I can't wait to get those pearly whites on the ground so I can share with you guys exactly how this season's going. So before I shoot off guys, I just want to say a couple of things. I've had a few people ask me for t-shirts. If you're watching this on a phone, if you turn the phone round, if you're watching it sideways, if you turn the phone round that way, you'll see at the bottom of there, you'll see a link for t-shirts. You can click on that link and it will take you to the website. Or also at the end of the video, there's a little icon that you guys will see pop up somewhere shortly where you can click on and buy yourself a t-shirt. So with that being said, thanks again guys for tuning in. I love and respect you all. There's another video coming up here. Remember, the t-shirts are coming up here. Thanks for all your support. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.